It's been a great mango flowering season. It all started in October of 2019. We just had a few varieties that flowered, but they did flower in October. Right now we're in the middle of March and we are still seeing some varieties starting to flower. So we've had flowers almost every month from October to March. I was really hoping that this fantastic weather for flowering would actually produce flowers in this part of the mango hedge. These trees are very special. They're part of a long-term project which started in 2015. I tasted some great fruit in 2015, and what I did was plant the seeds, wait for those seedlings to be big enough to use the tip of it for graft wood, and then I grafted those scions onto other plants. So the reason I did that is a mango, if you just plant the seed and wait for fruit, sometimes can take over 10 years to produce fruit. But if you graft it onto any other mango tree, young or old, it hastens that time. So now we are in 2020. It's been 5 years, and I was expecting that this weather would produce some flowers on these trees. Unfortunately, I don't see any flowers in this whole area. But I was just driving by and I had one little surprise. So let's go look at that. So this one particular branch has fruit. Because it's in the back of this tree, I didn't even notice it for a while. And this fruit is now about 3 inches long, and it's coming just from this one graft. So this other part of that graft has flowers, and the last shoot has new leaves. This is the one that I'm hoping to taste. These are Southeast Asian type mangoes, and I really don't know what the seed is from. If it's from something like orange sherbet or lemon zest, or if it's from a completely different variety. So hopefully this will be something delicious and unique. So here's another flowering situation. This particular tree is a seedling. Not sure what it's a seedling of, but last year we tasted a wonderful fruit from it. The fruit was not at its prime. In fact, I had to sort of dig down on the ground to find it. I was watching it for weeks, and then all of a sudden it dropped before I could pick it. But it had some very unusual flavors to it. And so we were eagerly anticipating a lot of fruit this year from this tree so that we could really evaluate it. You know, give samples out to different people, see what they thought, possibly even start propagating it. Well, unfortunately, not one flower, and of course not one fruit on this whole seedling tree this year. So we'll just have to wait until next year on this one. So this is our last area for this to flower or not to flower video. You know, it's been a great year for flowering, and I was hoping that this area would benefit from all that great weather. This whole area here was part of this Mulgoba mango ecosystem. Basically, there are a lot of seedlings. I've got some seedlings right here, that are either seedlings of Mulgoba or seedlings of a seedling of Mulgoba. Now there are 3 seedlings, large seedlings here. The first one is right here, and this tree was really damaged by Hurricane Wilma. Hurricane Wilma twisted the tree so much that the bark had come loose from the wood, so we had to cut back to healthy wood. After we cut back, we top worked that whole tree to a couple different varieties, and it's been really productive for the last probably 5 years. This tree right here is also a Mogoba seedling. The fruit were nice, but I wanted to go for exceptional. So we cut that back to, I'd say, about 3 feet, and I top worked it to orange sherbet. Now, it was great when I top worked it to orange sherbet. It was really easy to do because, of course, there's a lot of momentum from all of those roots and making those sprouts grow very quickly. And also, it had the protection of a seedling that's right behind it. That seedling's pretty darn old, and it provided the shade for this particular project. But now that everything's growing really well, it would be nice to have full sun for all this orange sherbet. The problem is that this tree did not flower this season. Now there's a chance in the next 3 or 4 weeks that it could produce flowers. This is a really old seedling. The base of the trunk is about that big. It's more than 6 inches. It's got to be well over 10 years old, but it hasn't fruited to my knowledge yet. So after 3 or 4 weeks, if it doesn't produce flowers, that tree's getting cut down to about 3 feet. It'll take a little while to sprout out, but my plan is to top work most of the new growth, but leave at least 1 shoot of the original tree. That way, whenever that shoot produces flowers and fruit, which will probably be at least 3 years, we'll be able to evaluate that fruit and decide if that is a variety that is worthy of keeping. If not, I'll just top work that particular part of the tree also.